Hello, Miss. Hello, everyone. My name is Marco Quilumba. Today I'm going to talk about cultural dimensions. This refers to the elements of a culture that make it possible to describe and differentiate it from other cultures. When communicating between different cultures, it's essential to take it into account the cultural dimension, as they reveal how people are. Here, I got five dimensions that can distinguish one culture from another. I'm going to start the first one: individualism and collectivism. Individualism focuses on personal autonomy, independence, and self-expressions. People prioritize their individual goals. That means they look after themselves. Collectivism values harmony, interdependence, and loyalty to the groups. That means, for example, in collectivisms, they look after each other. They working in a group. They feel confident when they work in a group. Usually, Latin American countries there are like that. Individualism countries is, for example, United States, Europe countries. Yeah, let's continue. Power distance, high versus low power distance. High power distance implies accept significant inequalities in power. In this context, respect for authority and the hierarchy is very essential. On the other hand, low power distance favors equality and question authority. Here, people expect a more equitable distribution of power. For example, this in Latin Americans, we prioritize high power distance because even now the people say mande, and for example, in Europe countries, in Spain, you say dime, straight away you ask for something, no say mande. Masculinity versus femininity. Femininity prioritizes people with empathy and quality of life. Here, gender roles are more acceptable and flexible. For example, the ladies, they are very patient, they are smart, they are look after their family, even when they work for some business, they are very loyal. In contrast, masculinity focuses on assertiveness, competence, and achievement. Gender roles are clearly defined. In this context, for example, every time we are very competitive, we try to get goals as soon as possible. We don't thinking too much. Let's continue. Uncertainty avoidance. High uncertainty avoidance refers to the preference for clear rules, structures, and predictability. People with high uncertainty avoidance are afraid of ambiguity. These kind of people, they don't take risks. They avoid take decisions. Sometimes these kind of people, they are no confident. On the other hand, low uncertainty avoidance implies a greater tolerance for ambiguity. Here, the adaptability and openness to change their values. These kind of people, they take risks in order to have successful. If they have an error, they continue, they do again, again, again. Long versus short-term orientation. Long-term guidance focuses on the future rewards. Persistence and saving values tradition and perseverance. These kind of people, they planning for the future. For example, they decide to study for many years in order to have a good future. Short-term orientation. They prioritize quick results, respect for traditions, and fulfillment of social obligations. These kind of people, they prefer rewards quick. For example, these kind of people, they spend some money for have greatness, for have happiness. Let's continue. Intercultural competence allow us to learn about cultural differences, adapt to different contexts in order to build meaningful partnership between multiple cultures. High context cultures emphasize interpersonal relationships. This type of cultures prefer the harmony and well-being of the group over individual achievements. For example, people primarily use no-verbal methods, feel comfortable being physically close to one another. Collaborative efforts are essential, building trust and strong interpersonal connections. Punctually is no their values. This I found funny when I saw in the video. Miss Nina said she made a party for her son, and the Latin American people, their Latin American friends, they came around 2 hours after. This values is for example, in high context cultures. For example, in Europe countries, they got a low context. For example, if she said she make the party 2 o'clock, and the people have to come in 2 o'clock. If she is in Europe, I'm sure the people coming exactly and punctual at the time. That's why our culture, they are very, very different. But for that reason, we have to learn intercultural competence. Now I'm going to explain you a low context. The low context, in this culture, the people are very direct message are used. Low use non-verbal elements. Privacy is very, very important. Learning occurs by following explicit direction and explanation of others. The role of speed. For example, in this kind of country, time is money. In our countries, we take too much time for explanations. In this country, they go straight away to the message. Let's continue. Reasons for miscommunication during cross-cultural encounters. Ethnocentrism refers to the belief that one nationality or cultural group is superior to others. They judge others' cultures from their own perspective. For that reason, it's very essential to promote intercultural understanding. Another aspect is difference between norms in cultures. What is considered acceptable behavior in one culture and may be perceived as inappropriate for the other. For example of this, in our countries, the ladies go to the beach with their bikini, and in Arabic countries they cover themselves. We have to respect each other because the culture is different, and our culture is different, but we have to accept each other as soon as we don't do anything wrong. Communication difference, with some cultures emphasize explicit and direct communication, while others rely on high context and no verbal cues. For example, if we will go to Europe countries or United States, or we are Latin Americans, we don't have to say many things in order to say something. We have to tell straight away because their culture, they are like that. We have to respect where we are. Let's continue. Links between cultural dimension, cross-cultural communication, and the need to develop intercultural competence in EFL students. In order to avoid misunderstanding, EFL students have to know about the of cultural dimensions in order to learn and get information about how people are from different cultures. Intercultural communication occurs when individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds interact. This involves understanding and adapting to differences in communication styles. That's why it's very important. Intercultural competence is essential for English learners to communicate effectively. That's why integrating cultural aspect into the teaching of English enrich language learning and prepare students for successful communication in this globalized world. Let's continue. The importance of knowledge of cultural dimension and the development of intercultural competence. In the context of teaching English as a foreign language, an understanding of cultural dimension is highly relevant because it helps to understand what different societies are like. Students can adapt their communication styles. we can get the ability to talk to the people from different cultures or different countries. In order to development of intercultural competence in learning or learners of English as a foreign language is one of the most important aspects of the language competence. It aims to give students appropriate attitudes and skills to interact more effectively in culturally diverse environments. Here I got some examples. It involves understanding cultural nuances, appreciating diversity, and adapt communication styles. A student will have successful interactions in globalized world. I hope you understand me. Thank you so much and have a good day.